Welcome to our new live session. And today we have a special guest, an artist and a muralist, wonderful illustrator from Mexico. Her name is Mariana Pulido, and I'm sure that today we will learn a lot of tips how to create beautiful murals, but also how to work with brands because Mariana, she has a lot of amazing collaborations, even with the Disney, and it's really very interesting to know how she reached out with brands and how she balanced her own style in brands' needs and everything about negotiation in these collaborations and how she creates so beautiful, vivid murals and other illustrations. Mariana, please, if you hear me, if you're here, please send the request so I can add you to live. And you're very welcome to ask any questions in the comments. And if you don't want to miss any highlights and tips on working with brands as an artist, you're welcome to sign up to the newsletter, and then you will get all the highlights right into your inbox. So I will send a request to. I think I see. No, it's not. It's another request from another artist, but today we scheduled an interview with Mariana. Please send. I see you here. Can you please send me? So while Mariana is connecting.
Hi,
Hi.
Paulina.
Hi, so nice to see you.
Yes.
I've already, I've already introduced you as an artist, illustrator, and muralist who has a lot of different interesting collaborations with such brands as Disney and others. So I hope today you will share with us your experience in this amazing artistic journey that you have.
Thank
How are you today?
you. Fine, and you?
Fine, great. It's early evening here. Thank you
Yeah.
for and
Yeah, it's crazy the time. Like, this is just the morning. It's 10 a.m.
Wonderful. So let's start. Please, if you can walk us through your artistic journey, how you started, it would be very interesting to know how everything
Sure.
began.
Well, I have been painting since I was a child, but when I studied graphic design, and I didn't like it at all, and I was like, oh my God, what did I did with my time? So I refused to touch a pencil. In 5 years, I was working on advertising, but only selling. And then one time I was with a colleague in the work and he had a Wacom. And I was like, okay, let me try it. And I got obsessed. So I started to paint again. Then I made a book and I went to CTN, that is a expo in Burbank, California, and it was great. I knew a lot of people that were illustrators and that live from that. So I was like, oh my God, this is my dream. I can live from that. So I thought like, okay, this is going to take time. I have to prepare again, and I did that. I saved money for a year, and I study again. So it was a very great journey, but difficult. So then a year after that, I started to make my book. I painted a lot of I did a lot of paintings, traditional, but then I like that to work with brands. I saw like, oh, it could be great, and I made a book, and I started like on IG, like with every brand, like, okay, can I send you my portfolio? Yes, please. And I was like that because I wasn't selling, so I was not embarrassed to go with everyone, and that's the way I started this. It's been 7 years.
And what kind of book? Can you tell more?
Like, yeah, I was like first of all, I did a lot of more not abstract but geometric, like alebrijes that are very important here. That are animals, magical animals, and and I used to do more like that stuff because that's what I wanted, and the brands like it. But I think that art reflects what we live, and my art has been changing a lot. Now it's more like flexible, the colors, everything, and I feel very connected with my art right now.
Mhm. What are some of the main inspirations for you? You said that I read it there on your website or on we can see it in your feed that you're inspired by Mexican culture,
Yeah,
right? But you have your own view of that. Can you share a little bit about your inspirations?
sure. I think that everyone here in Mexico, we have a lot of kinds of life, but we have like very a lot of things that connect connect us all, like the food, for example. I love the food, and in a lot of my work, it's in some place, like the tacos, the bread, the pan, everything, and also the colors. I used to only use vibrant colors for everything, and now I have like more gray colors, but some are vibrant because I want to be like, I don't know, to have that I, like every not everything is just one way, just to say that.
Mhm. But you definitely have your own distinct artistic style, and we can catch it from the first sight when we open your reels or pictures. It's very beautiful,
Oh, thank you.
and and I'm really very interesting. When you develop your artistic style, was it easier to work with brands to find new brands, or maybe how do you think how much influence did you? I mean, how do you think if your style were not so distinct, would it be so easy to make collaborations with brand? Is it really important to have your unique artistic style?
Yes, is well for me is very important because only you are going to do something with your voice. It's very important to know what you want to express and how do you want to express it. And I think brands know that they want something unique, so they look. One of the errors I had is like I wanted to like be like to for everyone, and that's not good. I had to be true and develop my style that has been changing, but I think that the brands look at you and say like, okay, she maybe can communicate what I want to say to other people in another way that and in another way that they used to. So here in Mexico, they have found that it's a great way to take advertisements, and then it's amazing because I think that it's an honest work.
Mhm. And can you share with us what's your process for finding brands?
Okay, well, I I look. It's amazing the social media because you can get in touch with everyone. So I look for what I want on some brands and I adapt my portfolio. I For my portfolio I put a little brief about myself, and then I put like 10 to 20 images so that are like aligned with the brand which I want to work. And this has been very useful for me because I ask them like, can you give me the contact for sending my portfolio for working with you? And the thing is that everyone is very cool. Like I haven't found like someone like, no, 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 we're not getting this. And I send my portfolio, and this has been challenging because at first I was like, is this okay is this okay to do? But yes, it was great because at one point I I found someone in a party of artists, and it was like, oh, okay, I have your book. Now I know you, and it started like connecting with a lot of. This world is very little, and so everyone is like, I know this one, and I know that one, and I think that the community of artists that we have been making, it's very great and helpful.
Yeah, but how did you contact, for example, Disney?
Ah,
Because as I can imagine, they have info at disney.com. If you send your portfolios there,
oh,
nobody will notice this.
oh no, that's different. Okay, that's when I look for the brands. Disney was a dream that I didn't imagine I could work, and that's why I say it's very important the social media, because I upload my work, and they look for me on Instagram. It was really crazy. It was like, no, not the brand. It said Disney, but some other woman wrote me like, "Oh, we're very interested in your work. Can you can you give us a mail and everything?" And I was like, "Okay, it's another project, a normal project." And then they asked me for to have a Zoom, and it was Disney. Mexico, it was in Mexico. What is this? And they told me everything that they were looking for. That project was like wow, because they had a mini Katrina. Katrinas are very important in Mexico. So they did a doll, and I was going to do all the graphic elements around her. So it was a very, well, not easy work, because Disney has a lot of limitants, but I think that I was made for that, right? Like that works, that just it's easy. Like you go on, oh, this and this, and it was very quick. So I did the all the elements, and then they told me last year, like, okay, they were great for the adult, but now we're going to use them on Disney parks. And I was like, oh my, only 1 month, and they have been there more than a year right now.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yes,
Congratulations. That's a great project.
great
So,
project. So it's important to for brands, they look for artists. So I think it's very good for that.
so it's really important to show up, to share your artwork on social media, to have a distinctive artistic style, and to share it consistently, so you might be noticed by uh, big brands. But
Yes.
if we talk on the part when you are contacting the brands, I really want to have more details on that.
Ah,
For
okay.
example, for example, you have a list of the brands that you like,
Yeah.
and if they are not too big but not too small, and maybe they have a lot of emails in their inbox, how you make sure that you will get your email? Do you find their special emails on the
Mm.
LinkedIn or?
Sometimes they don't look at it, I'm sure. But what I also do is that I look for the agencies that work with that brands. That happens
Mm.
a lot in Mexico, and agencies tend to be smaller than the brand.
Mhm.
So, and they upload a lot of things on their IG, like, oh, we have this brand, we have been working with this brand. And I look for the agency, and I told them like, oh, I would love to work with this. Can I send you my portfolio? Can I? And I am a little, I insist a lot, like, oh, have you seen the book that I sent you? And that's what I do. I'm not embarrassed of doing that, and I think it's important, because like an artist, we say like, oh my god, what are they going to think if I look for them? And I'm like, okay, maybe one of the 10 emails are going to look at me, but it's okay. That's the way we start. And then at working when I'm working with brands, this world is very small, so they tend to talk about like, oh, how was the experience with this artist? Okay, let me know what was everything. Okay, with her, yes, no, and they look for you, the other brand. That
Mhm.
has been my experience.
Yeah, thank you for sharing very much. And what kind of agencies do you mean? Is it uh, are they like marketing agencies
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Mhm.
Marketing agencies. There are lots that are international. That they are a little. It's not that easy to get in touch with them. You can, but it's not easy if you don't have a contact. But there are a lot of smaller agencies here working with big brands. So so they are like opening like, oh, we did this mural with this artist for this brand, and I'm always looking for that kind of stuff. And I go directly with the agency, like, oh, great, I saw this work, it was amazing, and no pressure, but can I send you my work? And they are like, okay, we're open because we're looking for artists.
And why do you work mostly with local brands? Is it easy to reach out, or you have the same identity in your like mood?
Yeah, I do everything.
Yeah.
I do everything like myself. I am the one that send the mails, that look for negotiation. That I have a good thing that my husband is a lawyer, so
Ah,
he taught me what to look in a contract, how to use the license of my images and everything. And I share it with another artist, so we all know about that, and we know how to manage with the brand or with the agencies, and we all be like in the same road.
mhm. There is a question from Alexa, how I can have my license to work pattern design? Maybe it would be interesting to know for others also, Mariana, how do you license your artwork? What type of licensing do you usually use?
I usually use the ones that they only for they have my art only for a certain time or for a project, and it's I always define what are they going to do with my art. Like, it's
Mm.
going to be on TV, or it's going to be printed in somewhere, or your social media. But there are other licenses like Disney, where your signature is not going to be only on contract. They say that you did it, and they pay you one time, and they can use it in whatever or in nothing. It depends on them. So I think it's different with every band, and the thing that it's important is to be sincere about what you want and what they want.
Is it hard for you to negotiate the contracts? You said that you have experience because thanks to your husband, but anyway, is it a complicated process, or do you usually say, "Hey guys, that's great, but I want to change this and that," and they say, "Yes, we're ready to change
Well,
everything."
not every time. No. It's not easy, but well, I love my work, and I have to defend what I think it's important. So so I think that we have to communicate to get a fair contract, and most of the time it's great. It's like, okay, I think that we could do here a change, and they're like, okay, and here, and everything is great. That's the usual. But yes, there are brands that are, oh my god, crazy, crazy to work, and or that they want to change. This happened to me, mm, when I started. Yeah, right now it's not very common to have big disagreements, or not the way that we want to work, because brands, the agencies and brands, also when this started like 7 years ago, it was new for everyone. So we we didn't know what was right and wrong, if they could use this without your permission or something, and now we have very defined what a brand can do with our art.
What are, last question about contracts, I think. What are the main things that you pay attention on when you're studying?
Okay, the right of use, like where are they going to expose them, for what time, how many time, and if it's only for Mexico or international. Obviously, the payment is very, very, very important that it's in the contract, and I think that that's the most important.
Thank you. And can you please walk us through your creative process from the very first ideas and sketch to the final piece, to the mural or maybe printed illustration?
Yes, sure. Well, first I hear the brief, and I from that moment I know that if I can work with them, if I can contribute with something, and then when they give me the brief and the limitations, I start to brainstorm very freely, like I could do this and that and that. Then I love to this part, like do a little investigation of the topic and of everything to have more ideas, and that is more complete what I'm going to do. And then I do thumbnails that are little sketches without details, so I don't get lost on every detail and the idea is not that good. uh, I'm a little nerd, so I love all that part. And when I get one or two good like thumbnails, I do the sketch only on pencil. I give it to the brand. They made I made also I It's also important in the contracts to put how many changes can they do and the price if they want to do more, because that's a problem also with the brands. Like they want a lot of proposals, and well, it doesn't work for the artist. And then I give it to the brand. They tell me, okay, no, we change it. I start with the digital color proposal, and if they don't have any change, I start doing it on the painting or in high definition, or in the mural.
Yeah. And how do you work on mural? Do you use the projector for transferring?
Sometimes we have to do a grid. I have been there are spaces that you can put the projector, so it's a little more difficult. But with the grids, it takes a little more time, but it can be done. And there have been, well, every mural has its thing. So sometimes we use like only stairs, or we do a more structured place, and it's very fun. It's challenging, physically challenging, but I love it.
Mm-hmm. Do you ask for any help, an assistant to help you with coloring the
Yeah,
mural?
yeah.
Yeah,
Some brands give you assistance,
oh wow.
and yeah, and but I have two friends that are great, and we help each other in our mural. So with them, I have been doing a lot.
Yeah. There is another question in the comments. How long take to develop a project for a big brand or company? Mhm.
Oh, that's important. We it, generally it takes a little time, because every brand wants everything like
Yeah.
yesterday. So yeah, I have, well, but it's better because maybe if I had a lot of time, my brain would be like, oh well, I have time, and the pressure, a good pressure, not a bad pressure, but helps me to develop all the project. Maybe, I don't know, it depends on what we're going to do, but maybe 2 weeks, a month, if we have a lot of time.
Mhm. I also saw a collaboration with Sharpie art brand with art materials. What kind of a collaboration was that? Can you share with us?
Yes,
about?
Sure. Well, at the end of the month, I'm going to do a mural for them here in Mexico, in Mexico City. And then, for example, I did some content for social media using their products.
For their
And
social media.
my social media,
For you.
like in collaboration, doing some things with their products, and I use their products, so it was like very natural for me. And then they asked me if I could give some seminars for the new products.
So
And
it
it was
was.
very cool because I knew a lot of people and working with them. It was very fun.
Did they offer that to you? Who contacted first?
No, an agency contacted me for that. I
And it
told you,
was.
IG is amazing.
And was it kind of sponsorship advertisement, right?
Sorry?
It was kind of sponsorship, sponsored advertisement. I mean that you didn't make illustration for them, but it was more
no. Now I'm going to do an illustration for them and we're going to use it in the mural, but this is in the final this month. But at that time it was just working with the brand and with their products, and if I like them, I told them that I like them. So we did a very organic collaboration that time.
How often do you meet these situations when art brands offer you their materials and ask for filming content for them?
They do, but sometimes they only want to give you the material and that you make a lot of advertisements. So I don't like that. And
what do you do in
yes,
these situations? Do you explain that you?
Yes, because it takes time. You know that.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of time to do something, and I think it's not fair that we don't get paid for that. So because it's our work, it's not only a hobby. And well, I tell them that I can't for that. So well, yeah, I told them that I don't have the time. And another brands ask me, but if I don't like them or I know them and they're not good, I tell them that I can't.
And how often do they agree when, for example, they offer you materials? You say, sorry, no, but I do not create content only for materials and I need a payment. How often do they agree to make it a real payment or?
No. They don't do that, but it's okay for me. Or only if it's something that I really want of materials, maybe I could accept, but that hasn't happened. No, yeah, but it's
yeah, so it's better to contact the agencies. Or what is your tip? Because you obviously have contracts with brands, and it's very common situations when art brands offer only the materials.
Well, the thing about working with agencies is that they told them, like, not all the time, but they told them, okay, you have to pay for that. It's like content, you have to pay. And but here, well, maybe in Mexico, I don't know, but they know that it's very weird that a brand asks you, like, okay, maybe to the people that are starting, they can do that, but they all know how social media works, and they of course can ask you, but maybe, I don't know, it hasn't happened to me, but maybe a brand will tell you, like, okay, we pay you and we give you the material. But I don't like to work with brands that doesn't get serious with artists. That's also important, because I don't think that any brand that is serious and know the importance of art is going to get to you and tell you, like, oh, do it for free.
You mentioned that you make everything by your own, and everything, social media, creating art, contacting brands, sending emails. How do you manage that? Do you have a schedule?
Yeah.
Can you can you walk us through your regular day as an
They,
artist, as as a business owner? So from
yes,
the
sure. I'm a nerd, so I like to have everything structured. But I'm also a mom, so not everything can be very structured. But I used to well I work since since 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. and in the afternoons I don't work because I'm with my kid. But if I have a mural or something of something else, my parents are great and they help me, or my husband. But in a normal day, I 9 a.m. I'm here with my coffee, starting to work. I give me like 1 hour for get with the emails and to answer IG that give me a little anxiety. I have to be honest. The the social media, but it's important. So that's when I see if I will upload some content on the day, and a story or something in my feed later, and like an hour and a half if I'm going to do something for social media, like edit a video or something like that. And then I normally is when I'm more creative. So it's when I start to sketch or do something for the brand that I'm working, if I'm in a project. And or if not, like the last week that I could do a skull that I've been waiting to paint a lot of years, and I start to paint or to be creative at that time. And well, I think like I take a break like at 1 o'clock to go to for my kid, and then I come back to work again, and then 3 p.m. I eat, and that's everything I do.
how do you do this? I mean, it's really hard to stay focused, or sometimes it's hard to stay focused on your commissions or your creative process when you have to answer different emails, when you have to upload something on your website, on your social media, or is it possible for you because you have this time block for emails in 1 hour in the morning, and then you just
Well,
close your notebook and laptop and do not use it?
yes, I used to be like um, before I had my kid, I was like all day working, all the morning, all the afternoon, all the night. I was like, I didn't have schedules, and I was like getting crazy. So now I think like I choose my projects better,
Mm.
and that's very important. I I let myself rest sometimes and disconnect. Some that I didn't do that, and of course I have like, for example, it depends on the project that I'm working on and the demand of them. But maybe I say like, okay, Tuesdays I'm going to do an illustration for myself that I'm going to upload later on Instagram. On Wednesday I edit them. I have 2 hours to finalize it and edit everything on the video of the process. And all the on Thursday and Friday, I'm waiting for the answer of the brand, and I'm going to work only on that. And that's what I do, and it has been good for me because I'm like very focused all the morning, and I work more now, but more efficient with more efficiency right now that before.
How many projects do you work on at the same time?
Well, now I'm in high intensity
Mhm.
in one, and the other one in low intensity because I have already all the content. I'm just waiting to upload it.
So if you, for example, get another offer today to do something ASAP, you would say, sorry, I'm I can take it now. Or
Yes.
yeah.
Well, it depends on the project. If it's an amazing opportunity, of course I'm going to take it. But now I balance more my time, and I think that's why I can create more because I feel more peaceful.
Yeah. I think it's the wonderful tip that just you have to really be focused and to know what is important for you because there are so many opportunities. And when you are so limited in time and you have family, you definitely have to choose smart what to work on. Yeah.
Too smart. Yeah.
Yeah. And how old is your child?
It's going to be 2 years old next week.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a baby, actually, a
Yes, a
toddler.
baby.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing that you do so many big projects and having a 2 years old baby.
No, well,
Just in
I was like 3 months I didn't do anything, and then to recover like the time and to be good mentally and everything, it took me like other 3 months.
Mhm.
I don't want to make it look like it's easy because it's not, but it's worth it.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. What advice would you give to some beginner artists who are seeking for collaborations with brands, who want to start work on commissions? What are the main tips for them?
I will say that first of all, define yourself and your art. Define what you like, what caught your attention, what you don't like, what are your limits, and with that, make 10 images, only 10 illustrations that have the same vibe, and then do a book with a little brief of yourself, 10 images, and start looking for the brands that you want to work to, like, and also follow artists because also we sometimes tag the agency which we are work with who we're working, so that then you can look, oh, that agency, and then you ask them, and then you look for it, and of course don't be ashamed. Some people are going to reject you, and some other people are going to think you're great. So it's important that you know that it's your work and you be serious about it.
Mhm. By the way, how do you usually communicate with the brands? Only via emails, or do you set Zoom calls, video calls? What works better?
Usually are first the Zoom, and sometimes a lot of Zooms, and sometimes only one or just calls. But I like to have everything like written because there I don't like when you say that or not, or I say that. So it's important to me that maybe if we when we end up the meeting, I send an email with everything that we saw, so there are no confusions because it has happened a lot of times. And something that I think is important for every artist that want to work with brands is that there's a lot of talented people, but very few that are serious and professional. So it's important to be well educated and to be polite, not educated, polite, and to be punctual. So these things, the brands and everyone appreciate them. And well, I will think that they have to look for the brands and they start like, oh, can I send you my email? Go to maybe to expos of artists in their town, so you can know more artists and you can make contacts. It's important also.
So you have already created, made so many gorgeous collaborations. What do you have in your artistic dreams? What projects would you like to create in the future? Can you share a
Wow,
couple of them?
that That's a good one. Well, I would in the future. I see me also working with more international brands because I love Mexico and I love all the support that they have given me. But I would also would like maybe one day expose in other parts of the world. That would be great. Or working with brands that go with the same values and that respect artists and want to be part of the this honest communication that we do.
I hope I'm sure actually this will happen. Yeah. And my last question, what kind of advice would you say to yourself a few years ago when you were only at the beginning of your artistic journey? What would you say?
Mm, to not be so hard on myself, and also that it's okay that not everyone likes you. It's really okay, and it's good that not everyone likes you, because when you do that, you know that you're talking to someone and not to another people. So you're sending a message, and not everyone has to be with happy with you, or like, because when I started, I was like, oh, you have to do realism, you have to be more, and I was like, no, I can do it, but it's not what I want to do. And I was very confused, like, am I wrong? I will tell her, like, take it easy, take it easy, and be true to what you really want.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing your artistic journey, and listening to you. It sounds like it's real to make big collaborations, to create your art, the art that you love, and to share it on the big walls, packagings that are produced all over the world. And I think it's a dream for many illustrators. I hope today you inspired a lot of them. Thank you for sharing.
I know. Thank you so much for creating these spaces. I think that they are very important. I changed my way of doing prints because of you.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have my print here, and everything, like, in other way. Like, I was like, oh, that she's great. She's sharing, like, for others artists that can grow with her. So thank you so much for doing that, and also your amazing artwork is inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for kind words. Really very pleasant to hear that. It was a big pleasure for me to spend time with you, and I really find this very interesting how you manage all the process. And I really hope that everyone who maybe missed the live and only joined, that they will watch the recording, because I'm sure they find a lot of helpful tips. And looking at your experience, they can believe in themselves, and start reaching out the brands. It's not so scary, and uh, pitch your art and show it to the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a
See
nice
you.
day.
Have a nice day
Bye.
too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.